Okay, so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about a perimeter and an area project that we will be working on this week in class. It is due this Friday, March the 4th, okay? So each day in class we're going to be working on it Monday through Thursday, and then it's going to be due when you come to class on Friday. It is a test grade, and it will be 10 points off per day if it is not turned in on time. All right, so let's just review some things that we know. What I'm going to do here in just a bit is I'm going to give you a floor plan of a house. Right now I want to do an example of our classroom, okay? So earlier today I measured that the front wall of our classroom is 27 feet. Of this, which other wall on this rectangle is also 27 feet? Class?
The back wall.
The back wall, okay? So the one that's opposite. Do you know what these kind of walls right here would be called? Are those perpendicular or parallel? They're parallel, okay? Now, because those are 27 feet, does that also mean that this right here on the side is 27 feet? No, why not? That's perpendicular, okay? Now, there's nothing here that tells you how long that is. You cannot even guess because we just don't know. I, on the other hand, did measure this out today. When I measured in the classroom, the other wall on the side was 23 feet. So guys, what do you think this side over here is going to be? It is also going to be 23 feet because that is parallel. Does that make sense? All right, now, not only will you have to find unknown lengths, now, part of this project, you're going to have to find the perimeter and the area of the different rooms on the floor plan. Guys, how do I find the perimeter of something? Jacoby, what do I do?
You measure the outside of the area.
You are correct. I'm going to find the distance on the outside. So how would I find the distance on the outside of this room right here, class?
Length times width.
Not length times width. For perimeter, I'm going to simply add them all up. So I've got 27 plus 23 plus 27 plus 23. You guys find the perimeter for me, please. 100 what? 100 feet. Okay, now would I find the area the same exact way?
No.
What is the area of what shape is this?
Rectangle.
What's the area of a rectangle formula? L times W, or length times width. Class, what's the length? 27 or 23. It honestly doesn't matter. 27 times 23 is the same as 23 times 27. Ellie, what's the answer? Okay, 621. How many of you also got 621? Okay, now what would my units be?
Feet squared.
Feet squared. Okay, so this whole project is going to be about finding perimeter and area of different rooms in the floor plan. So right now I'm going to give you kind of a fake floor plan, which is a little bit similar to what we're going to have in our project. You could see there's different rooms here. What are some of the rooms you see on this house plan, Jacoby?
I see a patio, a kitchen, a hallway, utility room, a study room, a store, cupboard room, a dining room, and a hallway.
All right, he told us about all the rooms. So right now I just want us to focus on this patio right here. Okay, do you see there's a question mark in there? Reagan, how long do you think that question mark on the patio is going to be?
4 feet.
4 feet. How'd you figure that out?
Same side.
You're right. If I look at what is parallel over here, if that was 4 feet, that means this also is going to be 4 feet. Who can help me out with another one of the question marks? Autumn, which one would you like to do?
The one in the utility room.
Okay, she wants to focus on the utility room, this one right here. So what would that be instead?
4 feet.
That is also going to be 4 feet because you can see on the opposite side over there, that would be 4 feet. All right, let's go to another one. I would like us to focus on the kitchen, this length down here. Guys, would that length be 12 or would it be 14?
14.
Why is it 14? Because it is parallel to the one way up here. Now, what I've had a lot of people do today is they say, oh, yeah, I had seen that this was 12, so that will be 12. That's considered perpendicular, okay? That does not mean that it would be the same. Instead, how long would that one be? 12. And you found that how? Because it is parallel to the one that we had over here. So that means this part over here is also going to be 12. Okay, now let's focus on that one. If from here to here is 6 feet, you can see that each square is worth 2 feet. 2, 4, 6. So the question mark over here on the right-hand side is asking me from this point down to that point. Does anyone know how long that question mark would be? Michaela, what would it be? No, from here to here is 6 feet. But I don't want to know that little part. I want to know from down here all the way up to there, this point. Guys, how long is that?
10 feet.
10 feet. So if from here to here, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So in this case, that one would be 10 feet. Do you guys kind of understand how to figure out those missing links? Okay. So let's go right here. You'll find some questions like this where it says, what is the perimeter of the kitchen? So if I go back over here and I just look at the kitchen, I'm going to outline it in green for us. Okay, so right now we're just looking at the kitchen. What are the dimensions of the kitchen?
14 by
14 by 12. So if I just bring it over here, I'll kind of redraw our kitchen a little bit. All right, so if we know this part was 14 feet, this part was 12 feet, then we also had figured out this is going to be 12 feet and this is going to be 14 feet. Guys, how do I find out the perimeter of the kitchen? I add them all together. All right, you guys put that in your calculators? When you do that, Jonathan, what do you get? All right, so 52 feet. Do I find area the same way? No. Okay, so at the beginning of each one of the areas, you're going to start with your formula, length times width. So, Tacoby, what am I plugging in?
52?
Not 52.
Oh, you're plugging in the length
The length.
and you're plugging in the width.
Okay, so what's the answer?
The answer for that number would be
All right, 168. And what are the units here?
feet squared.
Feet squared. So let's think about this project. If I'm talking about the kitchen, okay, and I need to put some walls up, the walls are going to be the perimeter, right? But if I needed to put tile down, what would the tile be?
Area.
Perimeter or area?
Area.
It is going to be the area. And you got to think, if I put one little tile there, that's a square foot, that's another square foot, that's another square foot. Does that make sense? So that's why we have squared feet whenever we are talking about the area, and it's just regular feet when we are talking about the perimeter. Okay, so what I have done here is I have actually given you exactly what one of the bedrooms on your project is going to look like that I'm going to hand out to you here in just a minute. This is bedroom 1. So we can see, according to bedroom 1, there are some unknown measures that I need to figure out. I want to know how long that length is, and I want to know how long that length is, okay? So the first thing you're going to do when you get this floor plan is figure out any of those blanks that don't have measurements there. We're going to figure out how long those would be. Is there anyone who thinks you could help me with one of these lengths? Okay, so let me ask you the first one, because this is what I've had a lot of people. How many of you would say this one right here is 14 feet? Okay, I've got a few people who say yes. How many of you would say that is not 14 feet? Okay, those of you who just said it's not 14 feet are correct, but can you help us understand why is that not 14 feet? Abigail.
Because, yes, on the other side, parallel to it, it's 14 feet, but you also have the closet, which is 2 feet.
Okay, interesting observation. The 14 feet that you see right there is from this point to this point, but then she brought in, hey, we've also got the closet length. So we've got to figure out how long is this little tiny area of the closet. And people are getting confused today. Some are saying it's 5, and some are saying it's 2. Guys, what is the length from right here of the closet?
2 feet.
That is 2 feet. So if this is 2 feet and this is 14 feet, what does that one have to be? 16 feet. Does that make sense? Okay, so now that we learned that, let's try to figure out if you know what that one is. Talk to your partner about it and see if you guys can figure out that length. You're going to have to take into account what part of that closet length is also. All right, talk to your partner. All right, how many of you think you guys have the answer? All right, give me what some guesses are. Jonathan, what do you think? He says 13. Who's got a different guess? What do you think?
10.
10. Who's got a different guess?
Oh, I'd say 10.
Also 10. So how many of you believe it's either 13 or 10? Okay, so here's what the people who said 10 believe. Remember, I am trying to figure out from right here all the way across to right there. Those of you who said 10, this is how I'm guessing you got it. You went from here to there, which was 8, and then you said, oh, I'm also going to measure that too. 8 plus 2 is 10. Is that measuring the same length as that? No. Okay, remember how we talked about parallel lines? This 2 is not parallel lines with this distance we're looking for. So honestly, right now, we do not care about that 2. Which one of the numbers do we care about?
5.
We care about that 5 because from here to here is 5 feet and from here to here is 8 feet. So if I were to add up this little distance of 5 plus this longer distance of 8, what is 5 plus 8?
13.
13. So that would help me to understand that answer should be
13.
13 feet. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so right now as I hand out your project, you are going to look at a whole floor plan and you are going to try to fill in each one of those blanks. Then once you've done that, you'll get to move on to the perimeter and the area of the project. All right, so I want you to go to the very last page and I want you to take the last page off of this packet that I've given to you. At the top, you can see there are little circles here from the hole punches. If you would, please, I want you to write your first and last name up here. So you can see today's homework is simply just to complete this page. As you're completing this page, all you're doing is you are going to anywhere that you see these blanks and you are going to fill in what those would be. Okay, some of them will be easier than others. Some will be harder than others. Just remember, parallel lines will give you the same measures, but perpendicular lines do not. So you will have to work around to try to figure out what each of those blanks are going to be. Okay, so tonight's homework is to finish this page, but my goal, once again, is for you to completely finish this in class today. All right, so let me talk to you about the due dates. Today in class, we are working on the floor plan. So that's page 6 of the project. You're going to turn in that tomorrow to me if you aren't able to finish it today. Next up, tomorrow, we're going to be working through page 2, which is the perimeter. So if you look down at page 2, it's going to say, hey, find the perimeter of the bedroom. So you're going to add up all the sides of the bedroom. Then the next day, on Wednesday, we are going to be working on the area. You'll fill out this page of the project where it says to find the area of each room. The next day in class, we will be working on the questionnaire. There are going to be 5 different questions here after you've answered all the questions about the area and the perimeter that you're going to answer these 5 different questions. Finally, you will see where there is a scoring rubric. You will lose 10 points per day that it's not turned in because this is a test grade, but you can see all the different point values that are here. One of them I want you to focus on down here is the questionnaire. You can see the questionnaire is going to be worth 25 points, and then we're looking to see are the answers written neatly and spelled correctly. That is also going to be worth 6 points of your grade on this project. And then finally, on Friday, when you come to class, you will turn in the entire project, okay? So I hope that makes sense about the perimeter and area project. These are just some instructions to hopefully help you get on the right track.